The introduction. If ever there is one universal language, it would definitely be food. As the years go by, we try to understand and reconcile ourselves with the power of food over our lives. They could make us young or old, fat or slim, health or weak. Because of this, a lot of studies and discoveries were made on the topic of food. As well look at us in the mirror, most of us would almost immediately notice those lines in our faces. Suddenly, we all wonder if we are too old or the environment around us is simply moving time so fast. We wonder what could be done. When we got up and stepped on that scale, we are shocked to see that line hit past the average weight. We panic as we think that we are getting fat and would mean getting slow. Mentally, we relate our weight to our heavy bodies and low energy. We almost immediately sign up for that gym class. We are extremely conscious of what we look, that we tend to forget that sometimes the answer could be that simple. In our society today, we are bombarded with pollutions and fast food. These two have a tremendous effect on how we eat and look. Fast food centers offer unhealthy food that oftentimes contribute a lot of problems. Lots of studies and experiments are being done to answer our cry for help. We want a diet that is effective, a diet that could boost our energy levels, make us feel young, look young, affordable, and sustainable. One interesting and very realistic discovery is food combining. Correctly combining foods makes all the difference in the world to proper digestion, cholesterol, and metabolism. Without complete digestion, the nutrients in even the most wholesome food cannot be fully extracted and assimilated by the body. Before we could even say or open our mouth about food combining, we must first be equipped with the basic knowledge about food, its classifications, and digestion. We cannot disregard these, as they are the fundamental stones of which this was based. Thus, in the chapters below there are some review on the basic data to fully grasp and understand the concept of food combining. Let's us remember this word of wisdom before we begin. Food and drink are relied upon to nurture life, but if one does not know that the nature of substances may be opposed to each other, and one consumes them altogether indiscriminately, the vital organs will be thrown out of harmony and disastrous consequences will soon arise. Therefore, those who wish to nurture their lives must carefully avoid doing such damage to them. Food and nutrition. It must not be forgotten that nutrition begins with food. The science of nutrition is related almost to everything with the body that does with food in order to function, live, heal, and grow. Food is any substance composed of carbohydrates, water, fats, and or proteins that is either eaten or drunk by any animal, including humans, for nutrition or pleasure. Items considered food may be sourced from plants, animals, or other categories such as fungus. Although many human cultures sought food items through hunting and gathering, today most cultures use farming, ranching, and fishing, with hunting, foraging, and other methods of a local nature included but playing a minor role. Now foods that are eaten on a regular basis are called diet, and every single person has its own unique diet. The geographic location and family traditions play extremely major parts in the formation of a person's diet. Although as the person grows, the diet may change, but to a little degree. Food choices vary from people to people, just as they vary with almost every living creature. We cannot make our own food out from the sun, or from the wind from the water. Our food comes from the plants, which make their food, and from animals that are pretty much like us dependent on plants. The plants, with the help of the sun, make their food from the chemicals found in water, air, and soil. Animals eat their food or feed raw since they are equipped with specialized digestive organs, perfected through evolution to digest the food they eat. On the other hand, We humans eat both plants and animals. We like to prepare our food, and in most countries, food preparation is an art that takes years to perfect. Different countries have different staple foods. Mostly in Asia, rice and corn are ever present in the table. In Western countries, potato and bread are their staple food. Regardless of the difference, these staple foods are the major source of carbohydrates. Protein and milk are likewise present in the table. Only people are too busy gobbling down their food that they don't care about the food they are eating or its nutritional value. It is vital that proteins, carbohydrate, and fats are present. The function of these will be discussed in the succeeding chapters. We must never attempt to skip a meal for the sake of weight loss. The more we deprive ourselves with food, the worse our body will become. Our conditions will worsen even if physically we look great. Importance of food. We cannot deny the fact that we need food in order to survive. Food and water has been the center of our life. Humans can survive without their big houses, expensive cars, and clothes, but they could never survive for more than a week without any food and water. If you could observe, large parts of the third world countries suffer from malnutrition. They have food, but the foods they have do not meet the daily required calories or energy of the body. Also, they do not have enough food for the day that they could only eat once or twice a day. As they say, you are what you eat. If we eat all those greasy and oily foods, we tend to become overweight or unhealthy. If we eat only sweets and caffeine, then don't expect that we could have that perfect, healthy body we always dream. So just how important is the food? Food is our primary source of energy. We need energy for our everyday activities, which starts the moment we open our eyes in the morning. As energy source, they are the ones responsible for our growing process, rebuilding of damaged cells, and regulation of body systems. Food also produces heat in the form of energy. Food makes us healthy and strong. This includes our immune system, a vital system that acts our defense against disease and sickness. Food makes us glow and young-looking. A well-nourished person looks young for his or her age, as her body is able to deal with the daily stress it faces. To function properly, the human body must have nutrients that are present in the food. Our brain cannot function if the body is weak. We will suffer from fatigue and stress from the lack of food. Extreme dieting is harmful to us and our body. Our digestive system and our cardiovascular system are the ones at greatest risk to being damaged and become not repairable. Food pyramid. The basic 4 food groups were reworked into a more balanced and healthy food pyramid guide. Now this food pyramid has its base on the grain group, the second level with fruit and vegetables group, third level with meat and dairy groups, and on the last level, fats, oils, and sweets group. The food pyramid is generally a guide for everyone of what to be eaten each, and as to how much quantity should be eaten. There should be a variety and balance in eating so as to meet the required calories per day. Each group provides what a person needs, but in small amounts. No food group in the food pyramid could provide all the nutrients that a person needs. Also, the foods in the pyramids have no substitute and must not be replaced by any commercial products, stating that they are the substitute. The grain group, which is found at the base of the pyramid, is composed mainly of cereals, pasta, rice, and other foods made from grains. We need a lot of daily servings of these foods than any other groups because they are our source of B vitamins, iron, carbohydrates, and some protein. The daily recommendation is at least 6 servings per day. Fruit and vegetable group are the richest source of vitamins and minerals. Take note, they provide fiber which may not contain nutrients, but is extremely important for the digestive system. They aid in the smooth digestion of the food and thus ensure good digestion. At least 3-5 servings of vegetables and 24 serving of fruits per day is recommended. Meat and dairy groups are the richest source of proteins. On this level, the two groups of food such as milk, fish, eggs, poultry, and cheese are all animal source, except for nuts and beans, which are from plants. High amounts of protein, calcium, iron, phosphorus, zinc, and B vitamins. These are essential in bone and muscle development, which why children need more meat and dairy products in their diet during their growing years. Fats, oils, and sweets group are on the top of the pyramid and is recommended to be used sparingly. Even if they are a pleasure to eat, they provide only calories and very little nutrients to our body. These include cream, chocolates, sugars, candy sodas, and cakes. Too much of this results in have ailments and problems with the heart and blood sugar. Malnutrition. It is likewise important to know what malnutrition is. This will be vital as some weight loss diet deprive our body with the much needed nutrients and lead to malnutrition without our knowledge. So what is malnutrition? It is the imbalance between the body's demand for nutrition and the available supply of nutrients. When the body is not given enough of any of the essential nutrients over a certain period of time, it will result to becoming weak and more prone to infection and sickness. The body withers as a result of the muscle being broken down for energy, since the body will tap its stored fats for energy. In extreme cases, death occurs. What causes it then? It can result from an unsatisfactory diet that often results to starvation oneself by force. It can likewise come from a disorder that interferes with the body's utilization of food. But did you know that obesity is also a form of malnutrition? It is being defined as body weight more than 20% above the ideal body weight. Extreme weight loss, such as that in anorexics, is life-threatening. It is one form of malnutrition that is extremely rampant among women. Anorexia nervosa is a condition that requires professional treatment and emotional support from family and friends. In unindustrialized countries, protein-calorie malnutrition is one problem that is common among children. Their bodies fail to grow with damaged digestive organs. Starvation results in calorie deficiency. Lack of the critical nutrients results in the deficiency of vitamins and minerals that are responsible for different disorders. Like lack of iron results to anemia, lack of iodine results to goiter, which is the enlargement of the thyroid gland, and many other diseases detrimental to the body. How the digestive system works. The foods we eat are not in a form that the body can use as nourishment. Food and drink must be changed into smaller molecules of nutrients before they can be absorbed into the blood and carried to cells throughout the body. Digestion is the process by which food and drink are broken down into their smallest parts, so the body can use them to build and nourish cells and to provide energy. Digestion involves mixing food with digestive juices, moving it through the digestive tract, and breaking down large molecules of food into smaller molecules. Digestion begins in the mouth, when we chew and swallow, and is completed in the small intestine. So how does digestion work? Well, the large, hollow organs of the digestive tract contain a layer of muscle that enables their walls to move. The movement of organ walls can propel food and liquid through the system, and also can mix the contents within each organ. Food moves from one organ to the next through muscle action called peristalsis. Peristalsis looks like an ocean wave traveling through the muscle. The muscle of the organ contracts to create a narrowing, and then propels the narrowed portion slowly down the length of the organ. These waves of narrowing push the food and fluid in front of them through each hollow organ. The first major muscle movement occurs when food or liquid is swallowed. Although we are able to start swallowing by choice, once the swallow begins, it becomes involuntary and proceeds under the control of the nerves. Swallowed food is pushed into the esophagus, which connects the throat above with the stomach below. At the junction of the esophagus and stomach, there is a ring-like muscle called the lower esophageal sphincter, closing the passage between the two organs. As food approaches the closed sphincter, the sphincter relaxes and allows the food to pass through to the stomach. The stomach has 3 mechanical tasks. First, it stores the swallowed food and liquid. To do this, the muscle of the upper part of the stomach relaxes to accept large volumes of swallowed material. The second job is to mix up the food, liquid, and digestive juice produced by the stomach. The lower part of the stomach mixes these materials by its muscle action. The third task of the stomach is to empty its contents slowly into the small intestine. Several factors affect emptying of the stomach, including the kind of food and the degree of muscle action of the emptying stomach and the small intestine. Carbohydrates, for example, spend the least amount of time in the stomach, while protein stays in the stomach longer and fats the longest. As the food dissolves into the juices from the pancreas, liver, and intestine, the contents of the intestine are mixed and pushed forward to allow further digestion. Finally, the digested nutrients are absorbed through the intestinal walls and transported throughout the body. The waste products of this process include undigested parts of the food, known as fiber, and older cells that have been shed from the mucosa. These materials are pushed into the colon, where they remain until the feces are expelled by a bowel movement. Importance of digestion. Most digested molecules of food are absorbed through the small intestine. They may either have been mechanically digested. Food is chewed, mashed, and broken down into smaller pieces, or chemically digested. Enzymes change food into simpler substances. So what makes digestion so important? Digestion is the breaking of food into smaller pieces so that it could be absorbed and utilized by our body. The smaller pieces that were broken down are then absorbed into the small intestine, where they will be transported to the different body parts. The body, in return, utilizes for the nourishment of the cells and be an energy source. Like tiny building blocks, they work together to form every part of you. Cells make up the skin, bones, muscles, and organs. Our body uses nutrients to fix damaged cells and make new ones. Nutrients give cells what they need to work, grow, and divide. Consider the foods we eat at the raw materials or ingredients of a dish. In order for us to be able to make a certain dish, the ingredients must chopped and processed so that they will fully utilized and cook. The same way goes with digestion. Improper digestion results from the different digestive problems. This could also come from the malabsorption of the different nutrients. Let's us not forget that our digestive system support our body. As small as we think that system is, we cannot overlook the fact its importance. It is composed of a series of organs that break down and absorb the food we eat so that the nutrients can be transported into the bloodstream and delivered to cells throughout the body. Most of us ignore our digestive system unless there's a problem. We never, or if not, rarely consider the role it plays in our overall health. To think, move, work, and learn, we need our digestive system to process your food and help utilize the nutrients. Our skin, hair, and even sleep can be affected by whether or not everything is working correctly. One expert says that people with poor digestive health might struggle with their weight, experience irregularity, nausea, bloating, constipation, stomach pain, diarrhea, heartburn, or gas on a routine basis. Poor digestive health also can prevent people from sleeping, working, exercising, or socializing with friends. So bear in mind that our digestive system affects our whole body when it is not well taken care of. What's food combination? Food combining, or scientifically called trophology, is the science of correct food combining. That is, the art of knowing which foods go best with which others. Food combining may also mean to the combination of foods which are compatible with each other in terms of digestive chemistry. Food combining is a basic component of optimal nutrition because it allows the body to digest and utilize the nutrients in our foods to their full extent. Most would agree that food combining is based on the theory that different food groups require different digestion times. Digestion is helped the most by using foods which have roughly the same digestion time. Thus, correct food combinations are important for proper digestion, utilization, and assimilation of the nutrients in our diet. The principles of food combining are dictated by digestive chemistry. Different foods require different digestive enzymes to aid in the digestive process, some acid, some alkaline. Below is a list of foods and their digestion time. Water when stomach is empty, leaves immediately and goes into intestines. Juices fruit vegetables, vegetable broth 15 to 20 minutes. Semiliquid blended salad, vegetables or fruits 20 to 30 min. Fruits watermelon 20 min. Digestion time. Other melons, cantaloupes, cranshaw, honeydew, etc. 30 min. Oranges, grapefruit, grapes 30 min. Apples, pears, peaches, cherries, etc. Digest in 40 min. Vegetables raw tossed salad, vegetables, tomato, lettuces, cucumber, celery, red or green pepper, and other succulent vegetables 30 to 40 min. Digestion. Steamed or cooked vegetables, leafy vegetables, escarole, spinach, kale, collards, etc. 40 min. Zucchini, broccoli, cauliflower, string beans, yellow squash, and corn on cob all 45 min. Digestion time. Root vegetables, carrots, beets, parsnips and turnips, etc. 50 min. Semi-concentrated carbohydrates, starches, Jerusalem artichokes and leafy, acorn and butternut squashes, corn, potatoes, sweet potatoes, yam, chestnuts all 60 min. Digestion. Concentrated carbohydrates, grains, brown rice, millet, buckwheat, cornmeal, oats, first 3 vegetables best 90 min. Legumes and beans, concentrated carbohydrate and protein, lentils, limas, chickpeas, peas, pigeon peas, kidney beans, etc. 90 min. Digestion time. Soybeans 120 min. Digestion time. Seeds and nuts, seeds, sunflower, pumpkin, pepita, sesame. Digestive time approx. 2 hours. Nuts, almonds, filberts, peanuts raw, cashews, Brazil, walnuts, pecans, etc. 1/2 to 3 hours to digest. Dairy, skim milk, cottage or low-fat pot cheese or ricotta approx. 90 min. Digestion time. Whole milk cottage cheese 120 min. Digestion. Whole milk hard cheese 4 to 5 hours. Digestion time. Animal proteins, egg yolk 30 min. Digestion time. Whole egg 45 min. Fish, cod, scrod, flounder, sole seafood 30 min. Digestion time. Fish, salmon, salmon, trout, herring, more fatty fish 45 min to 60. Digestion time. Chicken 1/2 to 2 hours. Digestion time. Without skin, turkey 2 to 2/4 hours. Digestion time. Without skin, beef, lamb 3 to 4 hours. Digestion time. Pork 4.5 to 5 hours. Digestion time. Doctor, Hay and food combining. Any carbohydrate foods require alkaline conditions for their complete digestion, so must not be combined with acids of any kind, as sour fruits, because the acid will neutralize. Neither should these be combined with a protein of concentrated sort, as these protein foods will excite too much hydrochloric acid during their stomach digestion. Dr. Hay, How to Always Be Well According to Common Story, when William Howard Hay, 1866–1940, graduated from New York University Medical College in 1891, he practiced medicine and specialized in surgery. That changed 16 years later, when his own medical troubles led him to research the connection between diet and health. Hay then weighed 225 pounds, 102 kilograms, and had high blood pressure and Bright's disease, a kidney condition. Hay discovered that his heart was dilated while running to catch a train. The dilated heart caused by weakened heart muscles meant that his blood could not pump efficiently. Hay knew from treating patients that his future did not look overlong or very bright, according to his 1929 book Health via Food. The title described Hay's health theories, his condition, and treatment. Hay diagnosed the causes of his conditions as the very familiar trinity of troubles that then ranked as the primary cause of death. The combination of high blood pressure, kidney disease, and dilated heart. But he could not accept the fact that his legs, which have swollen that time, might be chopped off. So he looked for other reasons, and so Hay looked at his eating habits. Thus he went into research, and it was said that Hay's research led to a diet based on the theory that health was affected by the chemical process of digestion. The body uses an alkaline digestive process for carbohydrates, the group that Hay classified as consisting of starchy foods and sweet things. The digestion of proteins involved acid. If carbohydrates and proteins were consumed at the same time, the alkaline process was interrupted by the acid process. Combining incompatible foods caused acidosis, the accumulation of excess acid in body fluids. Hay linked the combination of foods to medical conditions like Bright's disease and diabetes. The wrong combinations drained vitality and caused people to gain weight. Hay maintained that the solution was to eat proteins at one meal and carbohydrates at another. He classified fruits with acids. Hay labeled vegetables in the neutral category that could be consumed with either group. He also advocated the daily administration of an enema to cleanse the colon. This was the starting point for the interest in the field by other doctors, who would later have a classification of the food system. Food sources. Protein. The principal sources of protein are 1. Meats of all kinds, the lean part, such as beef, veal, mutton, lean pork, chicken, turkey, duck, goose, game, both feathered and furred, in fact, all lean flesh from animals and birds. 2. Fish of all kinds, such as trout, salmon, herring, pickerel, pike, cod, halibut, mackerel, sturgeon, and shad. Also shellfish like oysters, which are mostly water, clams, crabs, and lobsters. 3. Legumes, the chief of which are all kinds of dried beans, dried peas, lentils, and peanuts. Also green peas, and both the green and the dried lima beans should be consumed. 4. Dairy products, including sweet milk, light milk, buttermilk, cottage cheese, and all other kinds of cheese. Cream contains but little protein, and butters practically none. 5. Nuts, especially almonds, Brazil nuts, filberts, hickory nuts, pecans, English walnuts, butternuts, pistachios, and pignolias. Peanuts are legumes, not true nuts. Chestnuts contain much starch and only a little protein. Starchy or carbohydrates, The chief sources of our starchy foods are 1. Cereals, the most important being wheat of all kinds, Indian corn, rice, rye, barley, and oats. No matter in what form we eat them, in bread, toast, cakes, mushes, flaked or puffed cereals, they are starchy. 2. Tubers, the most important being Irish potatoes, sweet potatoes, and Jerusalem artichoke. The dasheen is also a tuber, which resembles the white potato in consistency and has an agreeable flavor. 3. Legumes, especially when they are ripe. The ripe limas, navy beans, and other kinds of ripe beans. Peas, lentils, and peanuts are starchy. Green limas and young peas contain more starch than the other vegetables, usually classified as succulent. 4. Nuts, but only a few varieties. Acorns, dried chestnuts, and coconuts are rich in starch. Fats and oils. The chief sources of our fats are 1. Dairy products, cream, butter, and some rich cheeses. 2. Flesh of dead animals, especially pork, mutton, and beef, which have been fattened. 3. Fat fish, such as herring, shad, and salmon trout. 4. Legumes. Some kinds of peanuts are very oily, and so are soybeans. 5. Nuts of nearly every kind. Almonds, Brazil nuts, filberts, hickory nuts, pecans, English walnuts, butternuts, coconuts, pistachios, and acorns are rich in oil. 6. Cottonseed, olives, and corn furnish much edible oil. Fruits. Some of the most common juicy fruits are apples, lemons, oranges, peaches, pears, strawberries, apricots, avocados, blackberries, cherries, cranberries, currants, gooseberries, grapes, huckleberries, blueberries, mulberries, nectarines, olives, pineapples, plums, raspberries, and whortleberries. The melons, watermelon, muskmelon, cantaloupe, cassava, honeydew, etc. Rhubarb stalk and tomatoes are so like fruit that for practical purposes we may call them so. The most important sweet fruits are ripe bananas, sweet prunes, sweet grapes, raisins, dried currants, figs, dates, and persimmons. Succulent and salad vegetables. The principal succulent vegetables are asparagus, beets, cabbage, carrots, turnips, parsnips, cauliflower, cucumber, eggplant, lettuce, okra, gumbo, onions, radish, summer squash, tomatoes, spinach, kohlrabi, kale, Brussels sprouts, cone artichoke, chard, string beans, celery, turnip tops, lotus, endive, dandelion, oyster plant, rutabaga, and garlic. Though corn is really a cereal, corn in the milk, either on the cob or canned, and green peas may also be classed with the succulent vegetables and also the pumpkin. The principal salad vegetables are lettuce, celery, endive, romaine, chicory, tomatoes, cucumbers, cabbage, celery cabbage, parsley, field lettuce, and cress are suggested. All leaves that are relished may be used for salad purposes. The 9 rules. Food combining cannot be done without any rules, and it is dilated by the digestive system and the digestive process. This is as dictated as the different food types require different digestion length and process. It is then important that when doing food combining, do not just combine just because you think it is right. You must know the basics and what food goes well with another. Dr. Herbert Shelton, in his book Combining Food Made Easy, gave some easy and simple combinations so as not to confuse a beginner or someone interested in the diet. The 9 basic rules of proper food combining. Eat acids and starchy foods at separate meals. Acids neutralize the alkaline medium required for starch digestion, and the result is fermentation and indigestion. Eat food containing protein and carbohydrate at separate meals. Protein foods require an acid medium for digestion. Eat only one kind of protein food at a meal. Proteins and acid foods must be eaten at separate meals. The acids of acid foods inhibit the secretion of the digestive acids required for protein digestion. Undigested protein putrefies in bacterial decomposition and produces some potent poisons. Fatty foods and proteins should be eaten at separate meals. Some foods, especially nuts, are over 50% fat and require hours for digestion. Fruits contain natural sugar and proteins should be eaten at separate meals. Eat sugars, fruits, and starchy foods at separate meals. Fruits undergo no digestion in the stomach and are held up if eaten with foods that require digestion in the stomach. Eat melons alone. They do not combine with any other type of foods. Desserts should be eaten separately, without combining with any other type of foods. Eaten on top of meals, they lie heavy on the stomach, requiring no digestion there, and ferment. Bacteria turn them into alcohols and vinegars and acetic acids. Food combination table. When having meals, it is better to take note that the smaller the number of courses, the better it will be. Food combining is not about the bulk or the quantity of food you eat, but the quality and the combination observed in the meal. What is important is that the meals should be favorable to the well-being and health of someone, rather than the complexity of its preparation. Proteins, fats, and carbohydrates remain in our stomach for as long as 7 hours, until all the stomach contents empty. Depending on how they are paired with, carbohydrates pretty much have a short stay in the stomach when eaten alone without protein. Even shorter are the fruit meals, while proteins have the longest stay in the stomach. So it is ideal that the three be eaten at different meals. Like for breakfast, you could opt for just a fruit meal or a protein meal with, say, like salad and vegetables. When it comes to dinner, the choices are many as long as you know how to combine them. The rules are there to guide you. Even more, the food combinations will be greatly aided by this chart. Food combining chart. Proteins, nuts, seeds, soya beans, cheese, eggs, poultry *, meat *, fish *, yogurt. Fats, oils, olive, butter, margarine. Starches, whole cereals, peas, beans, lentils. Vegetables, leafy green vegetables, sprouted seeds, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, green peas, celery, tomatoes, onions. Sweet fruits, bananas, fits, custard apples, all dried fruits, dates. Subacid fruits, grapes, pears, apples, peaches, apricots, plums, fruits, guavas, raspberries. Acid fruits, grapefruit, lemons, oranges, limes, pineapple, strawberries. Not recommended for good nutrition. Food combination digestion pairing. Writer Carly Shuna shares her thoughts about the topic. In her article, she discusses the relation of food combining and digestion. We must remember, however, that what might work for one person may not hold true to another. Food combining involves eating foods in certain combinations or sequences with the goal of aiding digestion and minimizing stomach discomfort. People who advocate food combining follow guidelines that dictate how to combine foods at meals and in what sequence to eat each food. They feel that improperly combined meals can result in digestive discomfort, a buildup of food in the stomach, and even more serious health problems. Digestion, a basic principle of food combining, is to only combine foods that have similar digestion times. According to nutritionist and food combining advocate Dr. Stanley Bass, water, juice, fruits, and vegetables have generally short digestion times of under 45 minutes, and whole grains, dairy products, proteins, nuts, seeds, and complex carbohydrates take more than 1 hour, and sometimes as long as several hours to digest. Proponents of food combining believe that the stomach overworks when it digests a variety of foods at a single meal. And it's healthiest for the stomach to handle similar types of food at once. When the stomach has completed the majority of digestion for one group of items and is mostly empty, it's permissible to eat again. Good combinations combine foods that have similar digestion times or that are in the same food group, with the exception of proteins, which should be limited to one type at each meal. Alderbrook Healing Arts recommends combining vegetables with buttery or fatty foods, carbohydrates or proteins. Other good combinations include starches with carbohydrates or proteins, and fatty foods with carbohydrates. Bad combinations: avoid combining starches and carbohydrates with proteins. Acidic foods and basic, alkaline foods should be eaten separately as well. Fruits and most juices are composed largely of simple carbohydrates and take only a short time to digest. Therefore, it's best to avoid consuming them with any other foods. Finally, desserts don't combine well with any meal. They are heavy in sugar, and food combining advocates believe that they ferment in the stomach rather than digest easily. Eschewing, people who follow the principles of food combining believe that it's important to completely chew all foods at all meals. Healing Daily also stresses the importance of chewing all foods thoroughly before swallowing them, almost to the point of liquidizing them. The organization notes that partially chewed food is almost always only partially digested and can pass through the body without fully dispersing its vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. Food combination vs. weight gain. The most common concern of almost every person is their weight as they age. They have tried almost all the diet plans around, and yet most are still disappointed with the results. Some people offer weight loss programs at gyms and at yoga classes. However, not everyone have the luxury or time to do both. So what makes food combining so promising when it comes to weight loss? Several studies have shown that increased intake of fruit, vegetables, dietary fiber, vitamins C and B6, beta-carotene and folate can help in reducing weight in a population of overweight adults, and as supported by a study published in Nutrition Research. The rules are pretty simple, and if followed will ensure the success of the much-wanted shedding of unwanted weight. Remember, fruits may be nourishing and jam-packed with the vital vitamins and minerals, but it is digested so quickly, so it doesn't mix well with starches and proteins. It's been said that yogurt is also very quick and easy to digest. Yogurt and all kinds of fruit go well together. Acidic fruits such as apples and oranges can be a particular problem if they are eaten too close to a starchy meal. Banana is the only really flexible fruit. It's quite starchy, so banana is good with porridge and cereals, but it is also easy to digest, so goes well with yogurt. Eat fruit as a snack between meals or as a starter to a main course, in other words, on an empty stomach, or leave a gap between courses. Some have tried doing the practice of food, combining to lose weight by following some simple rules. Eat starches and proteins apart. Eat fruit separately. Try and leave 15 to 30 minutes between main course and dessert. Don't worry about food combining 7 days every week. 5 is fine. There are still some who try to lose weight by losing their body fat. It is a fact that our body is 70% water. Little is known by many that having enough water in our body could help us lose weight. Water effectively flushes out the toxins that are in our body, and thus a reduction in body fat. When one is bloated with excess water, it is said that drinking more water helps ease the bloat by helping to run the body more efficiently, and thereby eventually lose that weight. Food combination for a youthful glow. In article below by David Cowley, author of numerous articles in anti-aging, he shared his insights on food combining. It cannot be denied that the food combining of Dr. Hay has come a long way, and many benefits could be attributed to it. We all want to lose weight, look younger, and feel healthier. Why not use the proper combinations of foods to accomplish this? After all, we are what we eat. We may not be able to accomplish all of our goals, but we can certainly slow down the effects of the aging process on our bodies. More and more people are discovering that combining the proper foods to reverse the aging process is a good start. Food combination is the process of ingesting certain foods together while avoiding other food combinations altogether. This is not any type of diet where some foods are not eaten. It only means that certain combinations of foods are not eaten at the same time. The body takes different amount of time to digest different foods, depending on the general type of food being eaten. For example, it is believed that you should not eat proteins with starchy foods, or that acidic and alkaline foods should not to be eaten together. If you go back far enough in human history, you will conclude that eating different foods at the same time was not the norm. Humans wander around in small family groups looking for food. When then came upon a food source, such as a nut for fruit tree, or if they found or killed an animal, it was eaten on the spot. If any of the food was left after the eating binge, then the excess food may have been saved for later use. The human body adapted to this food availability by producing different enzymes to digest different types of foods. Carbohydrates require carbohydrate digesting enzymes, and proteins require protein digesting enzymes. The production of protein enzymes and carbohydrate enzymes at the same time can lead to indigestion, gas, cramping, and the poor digestion of foods. Here is a list of 9 general rules for a proper food combination diet. 1. Carbohydrates, bread, potatoes, rice, and wheat should not be eaten with acidic foods, tomato, pineapples, grapefruits, and oranges. Tyalin enzyme is used to digest alkaline foods and is destroyed by acidic foods. The eating of acidic foods with carbohydrates can lead to a fermentation process that produces gas. Citrus fruits can safely be eaten as a snack from 30 minutes to 1 hour prior to a regular meal. Tomatoes can be eaten with green leafy vegetables and fatty foods. 2. Proteins, meat, cheese, eggs, and nuts should not be eaten with carbohydrates, potatoes, grains, sweet fruits, and most desserts. 3. 2 different proteins at the same time. Do not combine meat, cheese, eggs, nuts, milk. The enzyme required to digest proteins need to be in different strengths for different proteins. 4. Proteins and fats. Eat only lean meats, because fats will suppress the appetite, thus retarding the production of protein digestive enzymes. 5. Proteins, meat, cheese, eggs, and nuts should not be eaten with acidic foods, tomato, pineapples, grapefruits, and oranges. Same reasoning as Rule 1. 6. Starches, potatoes, grains, and cereals should not be eaten with sugars. Sugar causes the mouth to produce an excessive amount of saliva, which will dilute the concentration of tyalin in the stomach. 7. Starches, potatoes, grains, and cereals should not be eaten with other starches. 8. Melons should always be eaten alone. The digestion of melons happens very quickly and can be eaten as a snack from 30 minutes to 1 hour prior to a regular meal. 9. Milk should always be ingested alone. Milk requires a very specific enzyme to be digested properly. At first glance, the above rules will not allow you to maintain a balanced diet. You will still need to maintain a balanced diet, just do not eat a serving from each of the food groups at the same time. Divide up your eating day into smaller units with the correct combinations of foods in them will go a long way in your fight against the aging process. We need our bodies the chance to digest what we eat properly. Proper food combining encourages you to eat healthily. You will be getting more of the vitamins and minerals your body needs. Your skin will become clearer and healthier looking. No more indigestion or gas. You will have more energy, no more limp hair or pasty skin. Food combining for anti-aging purposes is a great way to fight the rigors of time. If you just feel that you need vitamins, supplements, or herbs to fight the aging process, then find a good healthcare professional prior to starting any type of home treatment. Food combination to detoxify body. Almost every human being wants to have a clean body, inside and out. With the pollution and all the dirt and toxins in the surroundings and in the food we eat, having a body detoxification frees us from the harmful radicals that affect our health and body. So what is body detoxification all about? Body cleansing or detoxification is treatment in which the body gets rid of the accumulated harmful substances that have a negative effect on the individual's health. Our body is not designed to eat and accumulate all kinds of food all at the same time, even with the healthy ones. Since our digestive enzymes have a requirement of a certain pH level in order to function, proteins and some foods require longer time in the stomach as compared to other foods. Fats and oil coat our stomach lining, making it more difficult for the stomach to secrete that much-needed acid to digest food. When you decide to eat nuts and olive oil together, better think twice on your choice. Nuts are very hard to digest, and olive oil makes it hard for the stomach to release the acid and digest the nuts. So how does detoxification work? Basically, detoxification means cleaning the blood. It does this mainly by removing impurities from the blood in the liver, where toxins are processed for elimination. The body also eliminates toxins through the kidneys, intestines, lungs, lymph, and skin. However, when this system is compromised, impurities aren't properly filtered, and every cell in the body is adversely affected. By combining foods properly, your digestion is well aided, and the elimination of toxins in the body is achieved. We detoxify to be healthy and feel healthy, but being one isn't simply eating good food. It's about eating the good food in a right way at the right times. A good detox program can help the body's natural cleaning process by 1. Resting the organs through fasting. 2. Stimulating the liver to drive toxins from the body. 3. Promoting elimination through the intestines, kidneys, and skin. 4. Improving circulation of the blood. And 5. Refueling the body with healthy nutrients. A detox program, however, must only be done once a year. Perhaps a short one is enough and is good for your health. As a word of caution, all long-term fasts require medical supervision as well as prior assessment as to levels of nutrients to ensure that deficiency does not occur. Weekend fasts are safe for most people, although it is still wise to seek advice from a professional experienced in detoxification. Some of the common detox methods include water and juice fast, weekend mono diet, alkaline detoxification diet, vitamin C therapy, and chelation therapy. Energetic with raw food combination. When we overload our body with one huge meal, this has a detrimental effect to our overall energy level. All the energy we have is being directed to the digestive system in order to properly digest what we have just eaten. An overload on eating will never do any good, but it will even make us sleepy and tired. So what could be the foods that would boost up our energy level? I, for one, firmly believe that raw food could significantly improve our energy level, as well as our performance. Performance is meant to be our daily activity, and how we are doing and feeling every minute of it. Caffeine and sugar in our beverages and food is one good energy booster, but only for a certain, if not brief, time. When its effect wears out, we too feel worn out. We feel drained and have to get another energy boost. Raw foods are very easy to digest, as they have these enzymes to aid our body in digestion and other processes. Raw foods are in the original state, making them very digestible, and so the body will no longer waste any additional energy to digest them. Aside from easy to digest, raw foods are jam-packed with nutrients as compared to cooked food. Compared to junk foods which contain empty calories and less nutritional value, raw foods are the best snack to have. Most people will notice that they will get more energy when juicing vegetables like carrots and celery. Any kind of vegetables is sure to have those energy boosters, and what could be better than drinking natural fruits and vegetable juice? So what do you eat on a raw food diet? A raw food diet is given by one who has doing it for years. Salads, lots of fresh, green, organic vegetables, and the more variety, the better. And the ideal dressing is cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil with herbs, spices, and orange or lemon juice. But you could get away with the olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Juices. It's best to get a good quality juicer. Try not to buy the bottled juices from the store. Juicing at home will allow you to take in fresh juices with all the minerals, vitamins, and enzymes that your body needs. Nuts and seeds. Raw, organic nuts and seeds, eaten within moderation and sprinkled into salads, will give the body much-needed protein, good fats, and calories for energy. Go easy on the nuts and seeds. Use sparingly, and mix them into other foods like salads and raw vegan sushi. Fruits. If you're not juicing them, eat them. Raw, organic fresh fruits are an excellent source of nutrition and energy. Apples and oranges, still common but essential fruits to eat daily to boost one's energy level. Also, bananas are great as well, and grapes, as well as all the berries, especially blueberries, contain antioxidants to help fight against cancer. Aloe vera. This is somewhat of a miracle plant that many researchers are still puzzled about regarding its beneficial properties. Aloe vera juice provides many benefits, like healing and rejuvenation of the body's cells. In fact, many people around the world will cut a leaf from the aloe vera plant and use the juice to apply to a cut or burn to make it heal faster. Taken as a juice, aloe vera helps heal the body and give it more energy, and at the same time aiding in digestion and allowing more nutrients to be absorbed. Always buy the raw, organic aloe vera juice for best results. A conclusion. To recap, the food combining system, as a whole, is simple and easy to understand. It logically evolved from the study of gastric physiology and the actions of enzymes and digestive juices. It is not what we eat, but what we digest and assimilate that determines the nourishment our bodies receive. Food combining is based on the discovery that certain combinations of food may be digested with greater ease and efficiency than others. Food combining improves our overall health and outlook, but this could only be achieved if the diet is done properly and religiously. When the combinations are done as told or instructed, we will feel fresh, energetic, young, and light. But the method could only do so much. It still depends on us on how we do things and how we look at it. We cannot expect results after a day. A program whose results could be seen almost immediately is not good news. Good results come from time and the determination of the one doing it. What is important is that at the end of the day, you feel satisfied and contented.